cameras and being part of the call in that fashion today. My name is Professor Mark Nolan, and I'm the Director of the Centre for Law and Justice. And it's my pleasure to thank you all for attending today and to be part of this day. And the program has been posted into the chat, and we'll begin today in a very special way. We have our elders in residence at Charles Sturt, the Bathurst-based Wiradjuri elders, here today, and they will give us a welcome. Before I do so, I'll just acknowledge that I'm on Biripi land in our Port Macquarie campus today. I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and I pay respect to all First Nations Australians on the call today. I'd like to thank Simone Thackeray chiefly for organising today, thank all of our presenters in advance, Christy Larson for getting that program up on the website for us. And I really hope that you'll enjoy the program that we've got today for real life, bringing some legal issues from the current news today to discussion. So can I hand over to our elders in residence, and we'll commence our day, and our first session begins at 9:15. So we can also talk today about cultural safety, and we can talk about the Yalbalinya cultural support session that the elders will be running today from 1 to 2 o'clock as well. Thanks, either Yana or Dinawan.
No worries.
And Werribee is here to do it too, so thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And Yama to everyone. My name's Yana Durrumble. So I currently work at CSU for the Division of Learning and Teaching, and I'm a community elder here in the Bathurst Wiradjuri community. We've also got Uncle Bill Allen, Dinawan Jitterbung, and Werribee Auntie Leanna Carr-Smith in the room. And they will do a welcome for you, and we'll have a very brief just chat and give you guys a reminder about why this year is so significant, not only to us Wiradjuri mob, but also to a lot of different First Nations around Australia, being that it's the 200-year anniversary of the declaration of martial law. Over to you, Werribee or Uncle.
Yeah, I might go next. Naring Marang, which is good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a Wiradjuri elder in the Bathurst area too. Have Wiradjuri and heritage on both my mother and father's side. I work at the university, and when I'm not working at the university, we're protecting country. It's part of our cultural responsibility. And like Yana said, this is a pretty important year for us this year. We're going to share some of that, some parts of those conversations, and just let you know what's going on. But it's pretty warm again today. Hope we all get to stay inside. But yeah, go on, Vana, be humble. Welcome all.
Naring Marang. Excuse me, sorry. My name's Dinawan, and I'm a traditional elder from the Bathurst areas of Wiradjuri, but I also have ancestral ties to Dunghutti and Gumbaynggirr and Wurundjeri country, and that, so that's where my father and grandfathers came from. But I've grown up here on Wiradjuri country, which is my mother's country, and so like we said, this year we're looking forward to putting on a special event to, like they said, commemorating the declaration of martial law, which affected the Wiradjuri people at that time, and so this is a pretty big event because all three of us all have ethical ancestors who were at that time fighting the war of resistance against the British Empire, really, when you look at it. So yeah, we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk a bit more detail about that later. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the rest of the day, and Mandangur.
Mandangur,
Next
thank
one.
you.
And
Sorry, Yana.
oh no, you're right, Mark. I might just briefly touch on cultural safety before we
Thanks,
get going
please.
as well. So for people that aren't aware, cultural safety is pretty important. I think it's sort of become a little bit of a buzzword lately, but it does have some real meaning and substance behind it as well. And cultural safety for us, the definition that we use was gifted to us from an elder who's now passed away, Malian Meriganuri, or Uncle Brian Grant. And the definition that we use is cultural safety is an environment which is spiritually, socially, and emotionally safe, as well as physically safe for people, where there is no assault, challenge, or denial of your identity. It's about shared respect, shared meaning, knowledge and experience, and learning together with dignity and truly listening. And I think the key part of that for us is that there's no assault, challenge, or denial of your identity. And that means whoever you are. And so today, along with our colleagues at CSU, we're coming to you from a place of cultural safety, and we're going to present to you in Yinjamarra when we spend our session with you a little bit later on, the Yalbalinya Yarning Circle. And just remember that also means there's an expectation. And in Wiradjuri, we say Yinja Maljurai Yalbalinya Mawang, which means two-way respectful learning together. So that means that there's an expectation that it's a process that goes back and forth, not just sitting here being spoken at. So we encourage you to participate today. The guys, the team from Centre for Law and Justice will sort of prompt you and show you how to do that and guide you along as you go through your day. And we hope you have a really good day. And if there's any questions that you've got for us, either shoot them through to one of the Centre for Law and Justice staff or pop them into the chat for us, and we will answer any of your questions that you might have. And, we're happy to answer questions about what we talk about today or anything that might be outside of that. Yesterday was a pretty significant day for us, as you can imagine. So we're happy to answer questions about that subject or topic as well, if that's the case. So have a really great day, everyone. Thank you to the fellow elders, and big yama to any other mob that's in the room. Have a really great day, everyone.
Thanks so much, Yana, and thanks for the wonderful pictures of Wiradjuri country that we were seeing there before. I posted in the chat the link to the conference that we're holding to mark the declaration of the bicentenary of the Declaration of Martial Law. We'll talk about that in Yalbalinya. So that's there. There's a bunch of people coming across from one other subject that are a little bit late, who will arrive very shortly into this room. And I also wanted to extend just apologies from one of our First Nations staff member, Beck Lewis, who's weathering the Townsville cyclone at the moment without any power. So she won't be with us today, unfortunately, but she sends her apologies. I can hand over to you, Simone, to get our program going. So we'll start with Jessica Goldie, we'll move on to Scott Calnan and then Claire O'Connor, and then we've got a wonderful panel session of alumni. So over to you, Simone. I think we might keep this recording going, we'll be fine. And then we'll start and stop it after each speaker. Thanks,
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for that wonderful welcome from our elders. It's always lovely to see you guys. Jessica just hasn't entered the room yet, and so while we're waiting for the Law 112 people to come across, we might just have a couple of minutes for everybody to grab a coffee, and then we'll get kicked off with Jessica.
Thanks so much, Simone. What I might just spend the time doing too, Simone, is a reminder for people who are doing subject-specific intensive sessions, the compulsory subjects as well. In your I2 sites are self-paced learning activities that link into the content of of your compulsory subject based on some of the information and some of the provocations you're getting from our speakers today as well. So that task is already there for you to work on, and it links directly into the presentations that we're going to hear from our legal practitioners and our alumni here today, as well as the elders.